Girlfriend of Sean Diddy Combs under cross-examination in a sex trafficking and racketeering trial, testifying under the pseudonym Jane. Combs' lawyers are trying to counter her testimony about trauma and forced sex, arguing she benefited from the lavish gifts during their relationship, including designer jewelry and handbags. Combs has pleaded not guilty, says he never forced anyone to have sex. ABC News contributor and trial attorney Brian Buckmeyer joining me now live. Brian, the defense argues that Jane was a willing partner in all of this. So how convincing is their argument?
Yes, okay, we started a little bit late today. We started at 1 p.m. Eastern time, and so we haven't really gone that deep into Jane's testimony. What we've got so far is that the defense on cross-examination is showing numerous text messages and also asking Jane questions about her participation in these hotel nights, as she described them, that showing text messages where she initiated conversations, wanting to have sexual relations with Sean Combs, and even showing that there were instances where Sean Combs said that she did not need to participate in hotel nights. And in 2022, there was at least a 2-month stretch where there were no hotel nights, and it shows that there was this back and forth, and she did have some control and consented to some of these relationships. I think it's trying to show a different side from what we saw in the government's case during direct examination, where they showed these text messages, but she was allowed to explain her feelings behind them, not just the messages themselves.
Got it. So we've also learned about potential problem with one of the jurors now in this case. What do you know?
So juror number 6 is a 41-year-old African-American or black male who, during voir dire, said that he knew some of the facts of the case, but he could put that aside and still consider the evidence in this case. Now, it seems like the AUSA or the government has come forward and said that there seems to be a lack of candor. Now, lack of candor is a very legal phrase. It doesn't necessarily mean that a person is lying intentionally. It could mean that you are omitting information, both with or without intent. Like if someone was to ask you, what'd you do today, or what'd you eat for breakfast? And they just said, well, I only had one piece of toast. Them neglecting to say what they drank or whatever it may be is not necessarily a lie, but it could be considered lack of candor. So there's a broad sense as to what this could be. But Tenny Garagos pushed back on the AUSA's reference to the lack of candor and said this is a thinly veiled attack to try to knock off another African-American juror on the jury. And the judge is going to listen to both sides, see what the issue is, and ultimately decide if an alternate takes juror number 6's spot in this case.
All right. We're tracking it right there with you. Thanks, Brian. And for more on the trial.
So yeah, so go ahead, Ronnie, man. They still on Jane Doe, and Diddy's defense team to try to do what they necessarily do to plead his case. So go ahead, Ronnie. What's your take?
See the prosecution failed to realize. That was I can't wait till the defense go, because then we can hear the defense side. When it comes to the aspect of the prosecution, there's a lot of holes within some of these people's stories. Now you have Jane Doe who are allegedly saying that she did have a relationship with Diddy. She didn't want to have that type of relationship with Diddy. So if we have someone like that saying that, is that racketeering? Is that sex trafficking? It doesn't prove it. It just making the defense team even stronger when they come around the next term, which is next week. So it doesn't look good on that aspect of that. And now when it comes to the aspect of the jurors, people got to fail to realize, remember, Diddy trial been trending for a very, very long time. When they did jury selection, they got to realize that most of these jurors going to know about Diddy and the Diddy trial. That's why some of them were trying to get on that, trying to be one of the jurors, because they already knew that there was going to be a high-profile trial, just like the O.J. Simpson trial, and they want to be a part of it. They want to be a part of history. So this one right here, it doesn't surprise me one bit. To me, hopefully they don't let that juror go, because it's already like mid to the crowd. So it doesn't to the trial. It doesn't make any sense to let that juror go. It really doesn't make any sense at this point. But everybody failed to realize that these jurors were going to automatically have their expectation about Diddy already, because they saw the Cassidy story that went viral a couple of years back. Everybody knows about it. Go ahead, Akim.
I've been saying this. It's been a quagmire of a situation with this whole Diddy case. The facts are disturbing as far as that they're able to just have this go to trial, to be honest with you. Because what this looked like is consensual transactional sex. And there was nobody forced here. People was able to leave. And, they're railroading him. Now, mind you, I always say this disclaimer. I'm not saying he's not a deviant. I'm not saying he's not a bad guy. I'm not saying he didn't ruin lives. But as far as saying racketeering and trafficking, that's not it in this case. That's not it. I'm going to land there.
Yeah, I remember when we first started doing this case, we was thinking about, where the tapes at, where's the celebrities are at, if they was involved in the freak off, and now we hear, all that has been debunked and everything. And now we're seeing a picture of, Diddy would have a polyamorous relationship with multiple women, like a millionaire with a billionaire with Diddy and everything. And him has a high, he is a very high level freaky man, and he likes to do things. And the thing is, it's like, he has he has multiple women. Like, okay, you will be my freak off. Okay, I'm gonna have a baby by you, or I'm just gonna fly around town with you and everything. We have fun and everything. So we're getting into depth, of how did he roll. To me, like I say, he is a menace and everything. We heard about it from years how what of a menace that Diddy is to work with, and now we're seeing what type of menace he is when it comes to relationships and everything. And he does have a problem. But when it comes to this case and everything, of trying to bring him down and everything, the prosecution, coming from the feds, I would thought they would do a really, really good job. But when it comes to they doing it, bring the people to testify, and then you got Diddy's team come and poke holes in that. It's just like, okay, Diddy probably does have a chance to get out of this case and everything. So